Right now at WEHM.com, you can not only check out what we thought were the best albums of 2018 in our EHM Year in Review. There were some really good ones. 2018, strong year for music. But we also now have the most anticipated albums of 2019. Ironically enough, but as is the case, believe it or not, a couple, one or two albums that was on our most anticipated list of 2018 is on our most anticipated list of 2019. U2 is notoriously guilty of being on these lists 2 years in a row, but they are not on this list. Let's go through what we have upcoming for this year in music, which we are really looking forward to. Some of the stuff that we absolutely do know, some of the stuff is a little bit more speculation. Some of the stuff is literally the band saying, hey, we hope we'll have something out this year. So it's a wait and see situation. Jack White, Boarding House Reach in 18, big record for him, big solo effort. He's back in 19, but back with the Raconteurs, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to get a new Raconteurs record. We already got 2 singles just before the new year. We got Now That You're Gone, and we also got Sunday, what was it? Sunday Driver. This is a little of Now That You're Gone. Get a little taste of this in here. There we go. Now that you're gone. Video is cool. You can see this in our feature for the 2019 most anticipated albums right now at WEHM.com. Go check that out. So Raconteurs, looking forward to this. Can't wait to see what these guys have in store for us. The last time they put out an album, 11 years ago, Consolers of the Lonely. Can you believe it's been 11 years since we got a release from the Raconteurs? Good to have Jack back with Brendan Benson, Patrick Keeler, and Jack Lawrence. That looks like it's going to be a good year for the Jack White fans. For the Bruce Springsteen fans, we've got Bruce on our list of most anticipated albums of 2019. 2018, obviously, a mega year for Bruce. Springsteen on Broadway was massive. We actually learned that that show was conceived because Bruce wanted to say thank you to the White House staff when the Obamas were serving. When the Obamas in the White House, Bruce called up the Obamas and said, I want to do a show for the staff over there. I want to say thanks. I want to do something nice. So they let him do a show, and that what he did that day at the White House became Springsteen on Broadway. We did a whole morning show with Anthony vlog on it. You can see it. We have the link under this part of the most anticipated at WEHM.com. That's pretty interesting. When Springsteen on Broadway was coming to a conclusion, we learned that it would come to Netflix and there would be an album release, which was cool. We had heard and seen some rumblings of the E Street Band members coming in and out of Bruce's studio in New Jersey. And we thought, all right, awesome. Here we go. 2019 is going to be the year of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Then as Bruce was doing press for the end of Springsteen on Broadway, he said he's going to get back to his day job in 2019. But then a few days later, quickly corrected the record in saying that he is going to be releasing a record, but it's going to be a pure solo effort. He says that this record is going to be more of a singer-songwriter album, not so much a band album. Doesn't mean that band members aren't going to be a part of it. Obviously, he's still really close with everybody in the E Street Band, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the normal guys and gals on the record. But as far as Bruce goes, he says this is going to be an absolutely pure solo singer-songwriter record. We do know he has a whole bunch of material from the early, from 2011, 2012, kind of left over, and he hasn't really put out an album since High Hopes, which was back in 2014, which now scarily is 5 years ago. Weezer, we know they're coming back with the Black Album. They've had the Blue Album, the Green Album, now the Black Album. March 1st is the release date for Weezer. They've obviously had a huge 2018 with their cover of Toto's Africa. They were just at the Winter Classic for the NHL. Of course, this hilarious skit from Saturday Night Live.
Baby, please, it's Christmas.
Oh, no, I'm just asking them a question. Sounds like you're into the new stuff.
Damn straight. I mean, I think they're doing some cool things right now.
Baby, be cool.
I'm just getting to know the neighbors. I'm just a little confused because real Weezer fans know that they haven't had a good album since Pinkerton in '96.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh. Looks like we have a purist in the house.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have fun with this.
Matt Damon on the season finale of Saturday Night Live as the host had that hilarious skit. You can get a link and see it if you missed it at the most anticipated albums feature at wehm.com. Pearl Jam was on our list of most anticipated albums of 2018. We got a single released early on. They put out Can't Deny Me. They put out a press release and everything else. Actually, at first, the song was released just to their fan club. Then they put it out wide. Then they were like, this is going to be a part of our 11th album. And then the year just kind of slipped away from Pearl Jam. A lot of touring, a lot of the baseball stadium shows over the course of the summer. And they never got into the studio to record this album proper. And I'm not sure if they actually even have a set list of songs or material they want to do. But Jeff Ament and a couple of the other guys have said in interviews they have a lot more time in 2019, and they can't imagine it taking longer than 6 to 8 weeks to put together their 11th studio album. So we put them on our list of most anticipated records of 2019. Believe it or not, as we move along our list here, The Cure is on our list, and they are about to celebrate 40 years. You want to feel old? 40 years since they put out their first album. I love this story because it really is the embodiment of what makes EHM so awesome. You know, people just digging out on new stuff. They asked Robert Smith to go and curate a music festival over in the UK, the Meltdown Festival. So he's like, cool. He starts putting it together. He starts listening to all this new music, gets super inspired, books some studio time. Now here we are in 2019, and they're going to celebrate their 40th anniversary as a band. 40 years since Three Imaginary Boys came out with some studio material. And it was all inspired by Robert having to curate this festival and having to listen to new music to figure out what he wanted to, what artists he wanted to put together. That just got him going, and now we're going to have some new Cure material, so that's going to be awesome. Vampire Weekend was on our list of most anticipated albums of 2018. We pushed them to 2019. I'm not really sure what's going on with Vampire Weekend. They gave us a song. They gave us an album title of Mitsubishi Macchiato. Ezra put that up on his Instagram a long time ago, saying there's no teases here. Here's the record. We're working on it. And it was a picture of the folder, like a file folder on the computer. Put it out there. And that was well over a year ago. And we haven't really heard much else. And really not much else has changed, other than the fact that Vampire Weekend played a few shows in 2018. And during their last show, Ezra Koenig assured everybody that the record is done. We know that the producer of the album, we know a couple of the contributors of the album. If you want to see who that is, shoot on over to wehm.com. Smashing Pumpkins make our list as well. We have to put them on there. They had a busy 2018. They have a busy 2019. The plans are to put out a sequel to Shiny and Oh So Bright Volume 1, which came out last year. They think a Volume 2 is in the works, but they did confirm they have 10 other projects also going on. So the spark that was ignited of the original band members coming back together, sans Darcy, has really put this band into a productive state. But as far as what actually gets finished and what gets put out has yet to be seen. So the Pumpkins are on the list, but I guess, we're a little skeptical about it. But it's possible. They got 10 things. They could finish one in 19. Entirely possible. Jenny Lewis is going to be busy come spring 2019. On the line is Jenny's 4th solo album. It is slated for release in the spring of 2019 here via Warner Brothers. Her last album, The Voyager, was super good, had Ryan Adams on it. This album also features Ryan Adams, Beck, Ringo Starr, and Don Was. So pretty star-studded, and the most star-studded guest list I've heard of any album so far for 2019. So that honor goes to Jenny Lewis. And On the Line, which does not have a release date yet, but we know she's got a bunch of shows coming up in the springtime, so I would guess it would be out before she hits the road. Devin Allman had Dwayne Betts as his guest, a whole bunch. They did 2 or 3 shows here in the Long Island, New York area. And at the very end of 2018, they decided to make it official after having a great touring season in 18. They have officially, it's no longer the Devin Allman Project with special guest Dwayne Betts. It'll be now known as the Allman Betts Band. And they're going back out on the road in 19. They got Barry Oakley Jr., Devin Allman, Dwayne Betts, obviously. They've got a bunch of other artists that have been, sort of grown up in that roots rock world. Some people from the Allmans, some people from Sheryl Crow. And they're going to put together a record, and they're going to go on a big tour in 19. The tour is going to include songs from their solo projects and also classic Allman Brothers tunes as they go out there to honor the 50th anniversary of the Allman Brothers Band. So very cool. If you guys dig on Devin Allman and Dwayne Betts, you saw them live and you enjoy them, the Allman Betts Band is coming your way in 2019. Speaking of the Allman Brothers roots rock culture, Tedeschi Trucks Band expected to come back with a new record in 2019. A ton has happened to them since they released their last album back in 2016. Obviously, the passing of Derek Trucks, the passing of Greg Allman. Did I say Derek Trucks? Butch Trucks, excuse me. The passing of Butch Trucks. They're going to have a lot to say. They're going to have a ton to say in 2019. So with the passing of those two legends, Susan Tedeschi, Derek Trucks, they'll get back together. They'll put some material together, and they're going to go back out on the road as well. They have a busy summer tour already planned. In fact, most of 2019 has already been scheduled for the Tedeschi Trucks Band. So check their tour schedule. Links and info, again, at wehm.com. But I see a couple of holes in the calendar, March and May, beginning of June. So we could get a record out before the summer. If not, look for a late release from the Tedeschi Trucks Band. And finally, the Cranberries. We're going to get the Cranberries' last album. To clarify, there could be some more material in the vault from the Cranberries, but in the end will be their last record. In fact, this was the album that Dolores O'Riordan was recording at the time of her death. Most of the vocals, I believe, practically all of them, I think they were in the finalizing stages. All the vocals were recorded and done already when she passed away. And the band says that this is a strong album, and they're going to go with it. So they're going to put it out this year. We'll look for the Cranberries in the end to come out here in 2019. There's going to be more that we'll be adding to this list for sure. As more rumors kind of fly in and we're able to confirm some more things, we'll be adding to our list. But right now, that is a look at our 2019 most anticipated albums. For the complete list, you can go to wehm.com.